is a pretty good game. It's basically a Cuban Influential trying to build buildings in a small paradise. Each round you play different roles to gather different materials and resources. You can gain pesos or you can go out. It's loosely based upon a game released in 2007 called Cuba. It uses kind of the same artwork, but it's not as in-depth. Cuba had all these government roles and ships coming in, and it kind of took some mechanics from Puerto Rico. But this game is stripped down and simplified. Thus it creates a faster playing game. It usually plays around 30 minutes. And it can play really well with 2 and up to 4 people. I think it played equally well between 2 or 4 people, but it dramatically changed the gameplay. 2 players tend to have easier time because you don't run out of resources. 4 players, by the time it's your turn to play the 4th round, you may not have the things you're hoping to get, and left out to dry, getting nothing. What's kind of interesting about this game is the roles you play. There's 13 different roles. And I'll show you the roles in a few seconds. Each role represents a different access to material. I like this game very much. I really enjoyed the theme. I thought it brought you in. The artwork is wonderful. The material are really well constructed cards, and the wooden pieces kind of work for the game. My game group I talked to really enjoyed it. Fast paced. It could be a filler game, but we spent the whole night playing it and enjoyed it very much. So I don't know what to say. It has a small luck element of the materials that you draw out of the bag. Doesn't greatly influence the game and creates kind of a fun element. So I don't think that really harms it at all. Each player starts off with a peso and a set of 13 cards. Now, if you notice the number on the top of the card, that indicates the value of the card, and then it has a special ability. Here it says this card has no action. Siesta does nothing, except it gives you a low number. You have to choose 2 cards each round, and you're vying for the different construction material and money to build the different buildings. So these 2 cards. And I wanted to build that. First of all, we assign the numbers so it creates the lowest number. So the lowest number always goes to the left, and the highest number always goes to the right. If somebody has a lower number, they go before me. If somebody has a higher number, they go after me. If there's a tie, there's an elaborate system of checks and balances to see who goes first. Each phase starts with 4 pesos and 3 different building materials. There's different kinds of building materials. You could see the red for brick. You could see the blue for glass. You could see the brown for loom. And there's also a limestone material and a debris material. There's a lot more debris than the rest of the material. The hardest material to find is the glass, blue. Then we begin each round. So back to my cards. If I had 48, it says take 2 workers from the stock. If I'm the first person to play this card, I get an extra worker. So I get 2 little worker meeples. These guys go around and help build the buildings. Then I go back and I take pesos. It says always take half the pesos in the middle of the table, round it up. Each round we put in 3 more pesos. If nobody takes the pesos, they do accumulate and it gets to be a larger pile. I have a total of 3 pesos, the starting peso and the 2 that I claimed, and 2 workers. I see if I can actually build anything. Now, you can only bid on the outside 2 buildings. So it's these 2 buildings here and these 2 buildings here. The only 2 we can bid on. Since I don't have 3 workers or 2 pesos and a red building material, I can't build on anything here. If I had a blue material or a blue and red, I could build one of those buildings. You actually start off with a starting color, and I grabbed yellow out of the bag. I have limestone. So clearly I cannot build anything. So then I have to move on the next turn. The next player plays their cards, and it continues on until the round ends. The smallest number plays first. If your number's higher, you play towards the end of the round. That means it opens you up to being stolen from. You may not get the material you want. Playing first kind of gets you the benefits, but then sometimes you don't get the more powerful things, gaining more resources. It creates kind of an interesting dynamics and a little bit of a strategy. You think you might be gaining something and end up not getting anything. You go first and you're playing kind of cheap, and then all of a sudden you're not getting the material you need either. So it's kind of tricky. And almost every game I played, there's about 4 or 5 games where a lot of them, they end very unexpectedly. You think, oh, I've got time to create more resources and keep working, and all of a sudden somebody says, yep, I buy last 2 buildings and I'm out. So you can kind of sneak in towards the end of the game. It's kind of fun. I've enjoyed playing it a lot. And the people that I talked to in my group greatly enjoyed it. We had kind of fun. We hammed it up. We made lots of Cuban food and sat down and played some Cuban music in the background. The game plays up to 25 points if you for a 2-player and 15 for 4-player. I would have to recommend this game highly. I think it'll stay in my collection for a while because I really like the theme, and I give it a 9 out of 10.